Hello everyone, I'm Breor and welcome back to another live stream here on the channel. Before we get going, I did just want to put out a friendly notice that we now have a Discord server for the channel, and in fact we've had one for quite some time. If you're not already involved, we'd love to have you. The link to join will be in the description of this live stream and also in the description of the stream once it's done and has processed and published as a recording. If you follow that link, you'll come here. You can accept the invite, and it will open up the app for you right like this. There's no download required, and if you'd like to come and interact with our community starting now, you're very welcome to do that. Alright, now let's switch on over to Good Game Empire. I don't really have a plan for today's stream. It's more of a laid-back stream, if you will, but I will be attacking some Nomad Camps and the Kahn camp as well. I think it's also significantly possible that I will be doing some PvP attacks during this live stream, but first I'll have to build up my coins and kind of repair my account from all of the upgrades that I've been doing recently. I recently acquired the Apprentice Commander from the Shapeshifters event and almost got it leveled up to plus 20 on all of the pieces. The Technicus was mean and wouldn't let me get that very last upgrade, but this commander is now ready for some PvP action, so hopefully we will be able to put him, or her, I'm not actually quite sure, to use during this video. But as I said, let's begin with the Nomad and Kahn camps. Now, I do actually have a double monitor set up for the purposes of conducting this live stream, so I am actually able to read the chat and interact with it as well. So if you'd like to ask me any questions or leave me any comments, I will interact with them during the duration of this live stream. So let me show you my 4 different Nomad camps this time. This camp here, the espionage report seems to indicate that this would not be the best camp to attack. We've got 2 Bodkin arrowheads down the center, which would require a lot of mantlets, and we also have a lime powder bomb with a fair amount of melee defenders, so I don't want to attack the center here, nor would I want to attack this flank because it's mostly melee with lime bombs. This flank is fine, but overall I think I have some better targets. This camp, let's take a look. Again, we're looking at a fairly rough center with more melee defenders and 3 lime powder bombs. I'm going to go ahead and rule out that one. This camp here I didn't think was much better, but I'll get the espionage report for it. And then this camp has been the one that I've been attacking pretty consistently. As you can see, fairly balanced center here. Only need to use 34 wooden mantlets. There is 1 lime powder bomb, but that's okay. And then this flank is fine for attacking as well. But here's that last spy report, and you can decide for yourself whether I've gone the right way. This is actually quite attackable. The center is pretty similar to that other camp, and then you would have more ranged defenders that you could zero out here, but it would require slightly more mantlets, which I'm trying to conserve, even though I have, I think, like 80,000 of them. Anyways, let's get going. Alright, so let's just bypass the cooldown here, and I can also check to see if Tough has leveled up the Kahn camp. Hopefully they have. That would be nice. Let's see if my preset is still working as well. It is. Awesome. And let's start running some trains. I'm not going to be able to talk during the whole duration of this live stream. That's the trouble, I think. In previous live streams, I've mostly talked, but then haven't actually played the game. In this live stream, I'd like to play the game and maybe talk a little bit. And already I'm being attacked, which is cool. Let's see. Probably just somebody who's trolling, of course. Thank you. Let's see who it is, see if they're part of the Discord server. Iron Lord, yes they are, I believe. So we'll obviously put down this attack and continue on with the stream. I may receive some bigger attacks during the duration of the stream. That would be kind of interesting, but I have all of the defenders and the tools and the Castellans to respond to that. So that will be fine. That'll be exciting if that happens. Alright, let's send over probably just 100 of each. I do have some food. I did check to make sure that I won't be just starving these immediately. And I shouldn't need any tools because it's just a small tool burning attack. Alright. And let's see if I can read the attack yet. No, I can't. I'll check in with that in a moment. Might as well swap over Castellan gear, but again, with such a small attack, it shouldn't even matter. And do I have any Castellan gear here? Yes, I do have like this mismatch of unique pieces. Doesn't hurt to swap it around. Okay, let's see if I can see the attack now. Nope, still can't. Let's launch another attack on this Nomad Camp here, see if we can spy the Kahn, and then we'll just be able to read the attack by that point, I'm sure. Alright. I don't think my preset for the invader will still be working. No, of course not. So let's flop this back around. I believe that was 6, and then 10, then 34, which is normally how it works out for the invader commander. You do have just enough space to be sending wooden mantlets, which is important, of course. 6 there. We will save this preset. We will actually add 2 Kahn chests as well because the seasonal event is here. And let's launch that off. And again, take a look at this incoming. 32 ranged troops down the middle. I'm not even going to bother moving out my attackers. What I'll just do is tower. There we are. And there we are. Should have, there we go. There might be about even losses. I'm not going to use defense tools even, and it is a fine commander, so whatever. But hopefully the wall holds. Only have 79 troop space because of course it's the Storm Islands. Let's see. Alright, if it's going to give me time, I might as well do this and wait for the attack to land. And retreat. There we are. Oops, espionage driven off. Where'd the report go? Okay, don't even have the report, do I? Maybe it was retreated. Who cares? That's the message of today. Alright, let's flop back to the Green Kingdom and continue our attacks. Spy the Kahn report. Thank you for all of the spam mail, by the way, Haskell. There's your shout out. Cowboy13, leader of my alliance, and we'll see if the Kahn has been leveled. Yes, I think it has since I last attacked it. Yes, because I would have attacked it a few hours ago. We can tell from that cooldown. So I'll spy, see if it's the same. Hopefully nobody in my alliance has forwarded the spy report. That's always annoying because if that happens, then the spy report doesn't disappear when the setup of the camp changes. I don't know if you've noticed that, but that can cause you to lose some troops. Actually, cooldown's about done. Let's see, is battle report here? No. Interesting. Whatever. It's also possible, maybe, that it just fled. You know how when you get tiny little attacks, but that shouldn't be the case for any high-level player. Anyways. We can do a lot better than this in terms of running trains. That attack kind of distracted me. Alright, skip through the cooldown. So you saw me set up the preset for the invader, so that should be good to go now. Launch a few of these, and the Lotus King commander, which I have fully upgraded, is quite similar to the invader, so I'll be able to use that preset as well and just make some quick little changes from memory. I might have to add some people temporarily to my ignore list, so that way I won't have any trouble getting to the battle reports in my inbox during the duration of this live stream. We'll see. Alright, what am I doing? Okay, I believe it's 5-5 everywhere. And then that will be good for the Lotus King. I do only have 3 attack presets purchased, which maybe it would be easier for me to just purchase another, but they do cost rubies. So for the most part, I've been holding off on that. I only have the Desert Sorceress commander and the Invader commander in terms of like having multiple copies, and of course that's what you want for running attack presets. But anyways, alright, this is looking better. And I will just pause for a moment to attack the Kahn once I get this attack launched. And I'll also check to see if I have enough wood to purchase the special Nomad piggy banks. Which server do I play on, says the chat. United States 1. I answer. And information like that can often be found on my About page here on YouTube. I've posted a list of frequently asked questions. So if you have any questions like what software do I use to make these videos, all of that information is available on the About page. There we go. Purchase some Nomad piggy banks. Can also check to see how my storehouse in my main castle is doing. To see if I can move around some resources. No, not at the moment. Probably need charcoal. If anyone watching the stream on the United States server wants to send me charcoal, that'd be nice. But not necessary, of course. I can also check my Everwinter castle to see if that's ready to ship some over. Alright, attacking the Kahn. Let me just first make sure that my espionage report was successful. Let's see. Yes, it was. Sometimes the espionage report will fail, but then because you still have the old one, it will look like it succeeded. So unless you actually check your inbox, you won't know, and you could potentially lose a fair deal of troops. I don't know if the attack setup, or the defense setup rather, has changed. Looks like it hasn't. So I'll be attacking this flank. Probably a few more casualties, but not as many mantlets used up. And because there are more ranged defenders that I'll be facing in the courtyard, I'll make sure to include a whole bunch of melee attackers. Let's see, 3, 3, 4 on the rams, and 25 and 37, I believe, if I remember correctly. Yes, 37, and we can launch this attack as well. I've been really hitting the Kahn camp a lot more this duration of the event, or this iteration of the event. Ooh, lots of resources. Thank you very much, folks. But of course, doing so is very helpful towards accumulating the Kahn points for the total points in the event. I'm trying to see if I can make it to 100,000 points without buying any boosters. I think it's pretty unlikely, especially if I'm going to try to make a video or two this week, because that of course takes away time from what time I have to play the game. But anyways, I would like to complete that new Nomad commander. Let's see what resources we have and from whom. Okay, 13,000 charcoal, thank you very much. From who gets a shout out? D-End, thank you. Some troll resource carts, always funny. And 8,000 more from King Clone, thank you. Any others that aren't trolls? No, but that's perfectly fine. I should have some resources available in Everwinter, but first let me make sure none of these Nomad attacks bounce. Alright. I am above 1 million might points, which is kind of unusual for me. I think that is a result of having some troops stationed at resource villages that I then recalled to my castles, which inflates your might points, as I talked about in my Quick Tips 3 video. Didn't do that on purpose, just had to station them there temporarily for protection. You know how when you're away for maybe 20 minutes, and it's not long enough to use the safe house, but it's long enough to maybe be sniped, so you do want to keep your attackers protected. I do now have defenders stationed at, I think, every castle. Maybe not ice yet, but I'm working on it. And speaking of defense, I am also working on those defense videos. I published the first one on the channel, a bit late, but it's out, so you can watch it now if you haven't seen it already. It's a remake of Castellan Equipment. I did like that old video, and it actually held up pretty well, but there were some new sets introduced to the game that should be mentioned, so I covered all of that information in that video for you. The next video in terms of the defense series is going to be all of the things that you can do to prepare before you're actually attacked, and that all of that information will actually take up 2 videos. It's about 27 minutes of content. I have recorded the narration, but I still have to put that into Premiere and record some video clips to go along with it. So yes, those videos will be out soon, but not today, unfortunately. But I'm working on them. Also, I've been working on a video about castle layouts. I have one of those as well already, but it's garbage. Not only is the video quality about 2 years old, but it's just a lot of wrong information. And of course, I don't want that on the channel much longer, so that's what I've been working on replacing. Okay, I'm not going to bother with a preset for this commander. I believe it's 8. In fact, I'm quite certain that it's 8. So let me just type in 8 for both the ladders and the rams. And of course, the mantlets don't change. 34 down the middle and 24 down the flanks. Normally when I go to record a time-lapse video or whatnot, it actually makes me a lot more dedicated to running trains. I don't get lazy, and so that helps me accumulate points, but because I'm streaming, it's probably just going to distract me. So maybe this wasn't the best idea in terms of doing very well during the event, but who knows. Streaming is a great way, I think, of making videos because I only get one shot. Right? If I'm just making an ordinary video, I record it 3 times until I'm happy because I'm a perfectionist, and that just takes me a very long time. Whereas streaming, you stream for an hour, maybe a little bit more, and you're all done. There's something about that that's satisfying. Alright, let me just check my travel reports as well to make sure that none of these attacks are landing right on top of one of each other. Right on top of each other. There we go. Nope, that should be enough time to fast forward through the cooldowns. And let's launch some more. And of course, the invader travels a little bit more slowly than the sorceress, so we won't have to worry about any overlap there. I'm glad that I was quite quick when I showed the Discord advertisement to move out of the general channel, because I'm sure about 20 seconds later that general channel would have been full of some interesting comments of people trying to land on the stream. Alright, how are we doing on coins? 500,000 now. It's better than when we started. I'm pretty sure that if I'm going to do some PvP during this video, it will be in the Outer Kingdoms, because that's a good way to avoid at least the biggest amount of support. Oops, landed. And so that will require me to have enough coins to move over some of my attackers to the other kingdoms, of course. Thanks to all of these resource horns, I cannot actually click on my castles to go back into them. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Let me move over some resources, though. So we're going to food 1 from through food 3. And let's also check. I should be able to buy some more Nomad piggy banks now. Again, that will be kind of important to my strategy for collecting back those coins. I had about 18 million coins, but the Technicus took them all when I went to upgrade my apprentice commander. I also spent some coins upgrading the Nymph set, the Castellan set that I talked about in one of my previous videos. It's not done yet, but maybe shouldn't have spent those coins so soon on that set, but you do want to have your Castellans at least moderately upgraded, because if you are attacked while offline, obviously you want to be able to receive support and defend. Let's see, mercenary is normally what I use for attacking the Kahn, for example, so let's go back to that. Should have a relatively short cooldown if my alliance has leveled the Kahn camp. I can also taunt it. Fun. We'll do that momentarily. As I said, I have the defenders recruited up for it. I don't spend any of the special mercenary. I don't spend any of the special troops defending against the Kahn, but coin troops, of course. Let's see. And I've been getting some really weak Kahn incomings recently, which kind of sucks because that's outside of your control, and I believe that limits the amount of Kahn medals you can collect, which in turn limits the number of rewards you can purchase. Speaking of which, in my recent Nomad Invasion, Kahn Invasion video, I did talk about the different rewards you can get from both of those events, and since then I've been a little bit more diligent about attacking the Kahn camp, and I've come to the conclusion that with the food production build items, you might just be able to buy all of them, because you can buy different levels, and so that was the dilemma I was facing. Do you buy level 7s for a relatively good value, or do you just go straight to the level 8s because you want the best, although they're far more expensive? And I concluded that level 7s are probably better, but you are only limited to 2 per event. So I've already bought those, so now I might be able to afford a level 8 as well, in which case there's no dilemma at all. You just buy as many as you can during the course of the event. So here are the level 7s sold out. Level 8 is quite expensive. I'm not quite sure how many Kahn medals a very active player can get during the course of the event, but as I said, I've kind of stepped it up recently. Alright, because I'm streaming, I do have some lag, which might not be good for running trains. We'll see. I think that one bounced, which sucks. However, Good Game Studios has done quite a deal to resolve the lag problem that we faced for about 2 or 3 weeks in terms of the world map being literally broken, the game being literally unplayable. Also, some inadvertent shoutouts. I guess we'll do them. Roman Empire, Starfish 2, Haskell, which we already saw, King Clone, Ivory Queen with a question mark. I'm guessing the question is, do I have it? Can I make a video about it? No, I don't have it, and therefore I can't make a video. I've been stuck for quite a while, just because I've been lazy on the, let's see, 7th quest. Yes, I'm only on quest 7, which is the Aquamarine quest. I tend to build up my Storm Islands castle and then just not use it month after month. Ooh, we triggered a seasonal points booster, which means that I should be able to now spend my tablets. That'll be fun. How can you watch without sound? There's a mute button beneath the video. It's just like a normal YouTube player, so it's perfectly possible to watch without listening to me ramble. Let's see. Let's launch some more attacks. Actually, let's check to make sure I have enough wood to purchase some more piggy banks. Probably should, yes. Not full yet, but I guess that's good. No resources going to waste. I believe I only have about 200 piggy banks at the moment, so I can't use any of them. Well, I could, but I like sending full attacks of piggy banks, so we won't use them yet. Alright, because I have all of these just spam resource donations, if you will, I should probably check the travel log to make sure I don't have more charcoal, which is what I originally asked for, than... Oh, I do. Awesome. But I don't know if it's more than I can hold, so I'll just make sure that none of that goes to waste. And as I mentioned earlier, I can finally get around to checking my Everwinter castle. Let's see. Incoming horn. Again. Thank you. Anyways, I can finally check my Everwinter castle to send over resources. I haven't triggered the Kahn attack yet just because there's so many things going on that I would probably lose track of it and then lose defenders. Somebody is moving near me. Cool. What is the castle name? Knight Communist Breor. Yes, very much. Very much so. If you join the Discord server, we have a USSR emote. It's the hammer and sickle, which is one of my favorites. Not actually a communist, by the way, but I do enjoy Karl Marx quotes. Very nice. The working class has nothing to lose but its chains. Alright. Ooh, some lovely pop-ups that will make it even harder for me to run trains during this event. Let's see, I should probably take a peek at the incoming to make sure that it's not now melee attackers. It's still ranged, but it's now on the outside. Do I have enough time to switch over? Who knows? Probably. There we are. Awesome. See if it gets retreated again, if that's actually what happened, or if that just battle report was lost in the twisting nether. Yes. I began, I believe, by saying that this would be a relaxed stream. It's a bit chaotic, if I'm honest. Okay. Shall we trigger the Kahn, or shall we not? Let's. Alright. Do we get a good Kahn attack this time? It's okay. It's not a very exciting one, but that'll be something to defend against at least. Let's make sure that I have the right Castellan on my main castle. Oftentimes I end up using my wall gate Castellan, so we might swap over. Let's take a look at the incoming attack. There it is. Okay, so on most of these Kahn incomings, I just end up not caring, because if I let the attack into the courtyard, it's just going to be crushed there, especially with the Breor Castellan. And I don't really want to waste wall tools, even the not-so-expensive ones, because I've been doing that, wasting them, and now I don't have very many. So, for example, if I needed some arrow slits, I would have to purchase them with rubies, which I don't want to do. But I can use these special Nomad tools. Anyways, the reason I'm saying all of that is I'll probably just end up defending only, on one flank. So this would probably be the easier one because there's all these horsetail standards. And that's about 50-50 melee ranged. Enough wall tools, not a whole lot of ranged tools, so let's do that. Let's just say 100% ranged. Drop in 24 of these. They get all put in one slot. That's fine. Try it again. Move all of my troops over. Of course, you do not need to defend the center, because unless the enemy actually sends troops that get over the center, you've effectively still held it. So that's fine, and we will stick with the Breor Castellan because we want the extra courtyard. So that should be all set now. Let's fast forward through these cooldowns for the Nomad Camp. See if we can purchase some more Nomad piggy banks. Let's see. This is just the defenses, obviously. Where am I going? There we are. Yep, can get a few more. Alright, we're up to about 700,000 coins. I'd like to get up past maybe 1.5 million before we go ahead with those PvP attacks. And I don't want to determine my targets now because there's always a chance they could be alerted. So I'll just pick them before I actually send the attack. I don't even have them chosen yet. I'll just look at probably the weekly loot rankings or maybe the honor rankings and attack somebody who is about my size, who I can stand to gain some honor from, because I'd like to get a bit higher than 2,000 honor for the next time the Blood Crows or the Foreigners are around. Obviously, having higher honor helps get more glory points from those targets. Alright, any more spam mail? Yes, plenty of it. Let's get a few more attacks off, and then we can maybe work on leveling some robber barons in sands and in fire. I'm working on getting more and more of those targets to their maximum so I can bring in more coins a lot more quickly. I shouldn't really ever be under 1 million coins, but as I said, it was very tempting to try to finish off those upgrades at the Technicus, and the Technicus just would not give that last upgrade to me. 5 and another 5 and another 5. As I said, because I'm streaming and because I have all of these travel arrows on the world map now, my game is really starting to lag. That's something that I've noticed. If you disable the travel arrows, the game does improve a little bit, but if you disable the travel arrows, it becomes that much harder to run trains because you don't have like the visual of when your attacks landed. Should have a few more commanders that I can send out attacks with, and like I've been saying, I'm normally able to send out trains of maybe 10 plus attacks, but during stream that's probably not going to happen. Alright, let's go ahead and attack the Kahn again, perhaps. Let's see. Let's take a look at the resource horns again. If the game crashes, the stream is over. So just bear that in mind as you continue to send one resource at a time. And of course, me saying that will cause people to do more of it. I'm very well aware of that. I've been on the internet before. Okay, there we are. What have I been saying that I'll be doing? Let's purchase the Nomad piggy banks again. I should have more resources in my storehouse for that. And I looked at ice, and it didn't actually appear like I had enough resources to justify moving them over to try and get that Hall of Legends upgraded. Let's see exactly how many resources I would need. I would need 65,000. I believe I had like 50,000 over here, 40,000, so really not enough. And I can look at the resource deliveries again, maybe after about, ooh, okay, this one's under 15 minutes as well. So I might actually be able to get in another hall upgrade before the stream concludes. That should be about maybe in half an hour or a little bit more. Actually, it should be half an hour from when I send out my PvP attacks, because I'll make sure to get the results of those in the stream, of course. Alright, here we are in Everwinter. So I've been saying that I will attack my NPCs here, and also that I will spend some of my Kahn points. And of course I'm trying to manage all of this while the game is lagging, while I'm running trains against the Nomad targets, so bear with me. Good thing, of course, about the maximum level Barbarian towers is that you don't have to spy. You just send straight down the middle. Gonna waste my filler preset just so I can get a bunch of these off relatively quickly. And normally I keep a look at my inbox to see when a report has landed and I need to fast forward through another cooldown, but not going to be able to do that today for obvious reasons. Thank you once again to the audience. Alright. Did I do that in time? Yes, I think so. Awesome. We'll do that yet again. That might have bounced. I don't know. Unless that was a Kahn hit. Yes, it was. Okay. Have I had any bounce so far? I don't think so. If they have, they've been pushed out of my inbox due to all of the mail I'm getting while on stream. Alright. Game question. Do I take the risk of opening this for it to be potentially vitriol? Sure, why not? We'll answer the game question if we can. Yeah. Took the risk, didn't pay off. So somebody in the chat mentioned the military hospital, and I'm actually going to talk about that in one of my upcoming videos as to whether or not the military hospital is worth it. Of course, if you participate in a lot of PvP, the good thing about the military hospital is some of your defenders who are killed during the attack will actually be saved, and they'll be present for the next attack. But if you don't participate in as much PvP, obviously it takes up space in the castle, and for most players we have plenty of troops, don't really need to be saving attackers, for example. It's always easier to just replace them by recruiting. So ultimately, I would probably consider not building the military hospital, but of course it's a Ruby building. I don't think you can demolish it, which kind of sucks. How many defenders do I have in total? Probably like 15,000 right now. Maybe 5,000 of them are the special Ruby defenders. I think that's actually a bit high. But I have enough. Of course, the more defenders you store, the fewer attackers you can feed in their place, and the worse you do during the events. So you don't want to have too many defenders, but each player kind of plays it differently, I'm sure. Let's attack the Kahn camp again. And we'll spend our Nomad tablets and attack those outer NPCs like I've been mentioning. The game is really starting to lag now. I don't know if it's going to survive. Let's see. Now the question is, should I leave this stream up on the channel? It's content, of course, and I'm sure some people would enjoy watching it, although I don't quite understand why. I mean, I get watching it live because you can kind of participate in trolling me a little bit, but watching it as a recording, maybe I don't understand that as much. But I could leave it up for people to do that, or I could just take it down. I don't know. What do you think, chat? I was originally planning to, but given how chaotic it's been, I don't know. Alright, we are past 1 million coins. That's pretty good. At least for looting during this video. Of course, 1 million coins for a level 70 player is not good at all, but whatever. I explained it to you already. The Technicus came. I couldn't resist. Cheeky Monkey says, notice me. You hath been noticed. How long have I been streaming for? 40 minutes, okay. This actually might be a bit longer of a stream than I thought then. Greetings from Romania. Hello. Romania is not a particularly good server in terms of the foreign invaders, but I will forgive you. and I think it's pretty much random anyway. I don't think it actually is indicative of Romania being a weak server. Alright, we've got an incoming attack. Let's see. Again, it's in the Storm Islands. I wish that would maybe stop, please. I did make a smart decision earlier. This stream is going up in 30 frames per second. Normally with my videos it's 60 frames per second, but that would have really brought the game to a crawl. Probably unplayable, so kudos to me for not doing that. That's a good idea. Alright. Yes, alright. Let's make it a priority. After I launch this and adjust the tools to match the Lotus King, we'll go spend some Kahn tablets. I don't know which would be more important, horsetail standards or lime bombs. Probably lime bombs, because I think I'm about out. And you never know when you're going to be attacked. And of course, I'm working on the defense video, so I want to present myself as about as powerful as I can be. So, uh-oh. Hold on just a moment. Alright, I'll be right back. Maybe. I might have to actually refresh the game window. I was just frozen for about 20 seconds, so why don't I do that? I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, hopefully we should be back. Hopefully that was a relatively seamless transition. The game is doing a bit better, and to address the lag, I will turn my graphics quality down to low. Animations are already off. Open objectives can be off. The red screen outline, I'll turn that off as well. I'm not sure if that has a huge impact, but maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. Probably time for me to jump through some cooldowns. Might have had a few attacks bounce while I was distracted by having to reset the game. There we are. Let's see. I'm not going to answer any more game questions because that's been ruined. You can thank Iron Lord for that. Hello, Marky Boyle. Why don't you replace the PvP Commander's heroes with legendary heroes that give bonuses to NPC targets? It's a good idea. I've heard about that before. I'm just super lazy. In fact, I think if you have the old Samurai Commander, that hero maybe is really good for that. And there's like some special combination that you can make to turn the Invader Commander into an NPC Commander. But let's see. And also it might mess with my presets. That's another reason. But no, you're right. That's a good idea. Do I have any? Is the question. No, I mean I could use these regular ones. But I guess I'll not do that for now. Okay. I said a while ago I'd make it a priority to spend those Kahn tablet, so let's take a look. I have about 51,000, I think it's 57,000 for purchasing the Nomad Castellan, but I have several good Castellans right now anyways, so I'm not going to do that today. I'd instead like to focus on getting more seasonal points for the festival event. I did waste my first 18-hour booster on the foreigners. I know some people who are very good at the foreign invasion and who can collect a lot of seasonal points that way, but I am not one of them. I've mentioned that in previous videos, so triggering the booster during that event is a waste for me. Makes it a bit hard to complete 2 copies of the Commander or Castellan, whatever is on offer, but I should always be able to get 1. Let's see, we've got this attack in 6 seconds, and we've got this one, so I'll fast forward through this cooldown, and then we'll go spend some Kahn tablets. I'll buy probably a few hundred of the lime bombs if I can, and then the rest should be horsetails. I do have plenty of banners at the moment, probably 5,000 horsetails, and a lot more of the other kinds of banners, 13,000 3%, 5,002, 6,001. So I'm okay in that department, but it never hurts to have more, and maybe one time I'll decide to go all out on the foreign invasion. So anyways, and I'm sure that some of my audience would fast forward through all of those banners in a single event. I'm just not quite that kind of player. So I believe it's 950 Kahn tablets at once to qualify for the seasonal points. So let's go ahead and do that. As I said, we'll be purchasing some lime powder bombs for my defense videos and in case I get attacked in general. That's 10. Alright, that would be 950 exactly, and that does give us the seasonal points. I was going to just double check that it wasn't more than 950, but okay, that works. So we'll do 10 at a time. And we'll spend maybe, let's say 20,000 tablets this way. That'd work. I have this special mouse that isn't supposed to make a clicking noise, but I haven't been using it. But that would be for like streaming and whatnot, so I'll try and use it starting now. So let me know if you heard the old one. Let me know if it makes any difference at all. I'm guessing you probably didn't. Alright, we've got a gem for the commander set. The commander for this iteration of the seasonal event is another NPC commander, which is normally pretty good, but this one doesn't have enough wall reduction to make it particularly useful for the presets. I know a lot of players set up their presets with the expectation that their commanders have minus 120% wall. I don't quite do that yet because I don't have enough commanders. But anyways, if I were one of those players, I'd be kind of annoyed by the fact that this NPC commander requires more ladders. I'd like it quite a bit, and I'm sure most people would, if Good Game Studios would reintroduce the Desert Sorceress commander, so I could get at least 2 more copies of that. As I've been saying all along, it's good to have copies of the same commander for preset purposes, which is one of the reasons I'm so concerned about the upcoming equipment update, the equipment power system, which will essentially make it so that copies of the same set will have different stats. I think that's kind of dumb. It's cheap on the part of Good Game Studios because it means that they only have to make one set of art for a Castellan or a commander, but now that same set of art can be used for different sets. But whatever. The art has actually been one of the things that I've always enjoyed about the game. I mean, sure, some of the old art is better. The old world map looked better and all that, but the decorative items and the buildings, for the most part, do look quite nice, in my humble opinion. So I think I had 51 to start, so that's over 20,000 spent in Kahn tablets. That should hopefully get me quite a few lime bombs. There we are, over 300. That's pretty solid. And normally I would buy those tools anyway during the samurai invasion and spend my Kahn tablets on the horsetails, but sometimes you have to make adjustments. I'm trying to fill up all of my castles with decorative items, so that's taking a lot of my samurai and nomad points. I don't know if this guy just keeps pulling his attacks because I haven't actually seen a battle report yet, and I still have the 200 defenders that I sent over, so I would guess that that's what's happening, which is kind of annoying, but okay. Alright, I think my bonus from having my troops stationed at resource villages and then recalled has worn off. Either that or I've starved something, which would not be wonderful. I think we're all set though. We've got food everywhere. We can send a bit more from 3 to 1. And we can take a look at the possibility of maybe upgrading my Hall of Legends. Whether or not those resources have arrived, and whether or not I can now send over some more to get that upgrade going. Maybe, I think, one of the deliveries was recalled, or maybe it just went to one of my castles that is not my main castle. Let's see. I've got 27,000 at food 3. I just sent out those market barrows, so won't be able to send that quite yet, but I'll do that momentarily. Get back on trying to run trains. Somebody in the chat says read the attacker's commander's name, so I'm not going to do that because I believe it's Iron Lord again. That devil. Let's go ahead and work on upgrading some desert towers. All of these, of course, are upgraded, but some of the towers that I have further out that I've marked with the red skulls are ones that I'm working on that have not been fully upgraded yet. So let's see if I can attack one or two of these. I did send over my attackers from the Burning Sands to green so I could work on the Nomad invasion. So I don't have nearly as many as I normally do. As you can see, I do have some defenders stationed in the Burning Sands now. I hadn't been doing that, but always a good time to start, I guess. And I don't have any, let's see, ruby mantlets. So let's just send melee attackers instead, because these ranged defenders will still have some power on the wall. And then that was all there was for this, right? Okay, no. There are some melee defenders over here. We'll send ranged, and we'll maybe fill up another wave of attack to make sure that we have enough troops to loot properly. Okay, we've got a second incoming horn. That's now been recalled, or has landed within 10 seconds. I hope not. I don't know. Just make sure that this is still the same thing. Yes, awesome. You guys are making it kind of difficult for me to run trains. Congratulations. Alright, we're almost to 1.5 million coins, which would be enough for me to move around some of my attackers and start with the PvP. I'm going to respy. No, I'm not, because my spies are gone. I do like to occasionally respy the Kahn camp, of course. That battle report, I believe, did just land, because this happened, whatever that is. Hello, Lord Elisar. Let's see, 23 of these, or we could use the special event tools. Let's do that instead. Got another attack. Let's see, 225, so that'd be 12. And 25. Okay, this Nomad Camp must have changed, because that's not what I was sending previously. And somebody must have forwarded the spy report for it, which is annoying, because as I talked about earlier in this video, the spy report messes with people being able to see when the defenses of the camp change. I don't think that I spied it myself. Who knows? And we don't need any Kahn chests against the Kahn camp, because it just naturally gives out more Kahn tablets anyways. Take a look at the incoming battle report in a moment. It might actually be a real attack. Yes, okay. It's got about the travel time of real attack. We'll see if I can put together a proper defense. Should be able to. Let's see. Who's it from, though? That's the question. Did I read the hammer? Because that would be Morentz. Yes, it is. Okay. We might not defend that, depending upon what it is. It could be a very powerful attack indeed. And then the one other challenge that presents is I'm not going to show my alliance chat, but I want them to know that I'm here. So how do I do that? I'll probably have to show it momentarily, even though I don't want to. Alright, let's just do this. There we are. There we are. Who knows? Maybe being attacked will just make the stream more interesting, and it's been retreated. Cool. Psych. Breor, I watch 1+1, and Trevor DaCosta. Do you like them? I don't tend to watch anybody else's videos, at least in terms of Good Game Empire. I think 1+1 made some interesting videos when he was still making them. I think his account in Good Game Empire went to ruin, so he can't make them anymore, which sucks, but he's got some good content for sure. And then Trevor, I believe, is still making videos, and sure, I'd recommend, I guess, watching anybody who makes Good Game Empire content. Try and support the community and the game. Have you considered making a video on the Wheel of Fortune now that it's been reworked? I haven't thought about it, but I might do it. The rework that you're talking about is really just now it costs 10 times the amount of tickets, which I'm sure was quite annoying for anybody who had been saving up. And now you can also get that new equipment set, which presents a problem for me because I would have to have the equipment set to justify making the video. And I actually don't think the stats for that equipment set have been published to the forums yet. So I wouldn't even know what the stats were unless I had that commander or knew somebody who also had that commander. So in terms of making a video on it, there's just not a lot I could do at this point. Alright, 5255 Clone, DHF, quite a name, asks me how I get all my tools. I make the wooden mantlets, especially in ice, sands, and fire, and I send them to my main castle through Barramond for free. You can send them directly to your main castle, of course, but that would cost coins, so I try and avoid doing that. And in terms of wooden ladders, I just buy them from the armorer. They're about 220,000 coins from the armorer, which is, it's an alright deal for anybody who is an active NPC attacker, which you should be, of course. In terms of the tools I have right now, at my outpost. I'll just go through them. I think you saw them already when I opened up my storehouse or whatever, but about 80,000 mantlets, spent probably 30,000 already during this event. And we're only about a day in, so that's pretty good, I think. Almost have enough Nomad piggy banks to send another attack with them. What is my best commander? Well, that's going to be the Apprentice Commander that I just talked about earlier in this video. Also the reason I don't have any coins at the moment. But comparing the Apprentice to the Invader is kind of an interesting ordeal, because the Apprentice is a bit better in terms of combat strength. It's a 100-100, and it's a bit better in terms of, what was it? Let's see. It's a bit better in terms of fortifications, that's right. So obviously I'm attacking an NPC target right now, so you don't get the PvP stats. But anyways, the Apprentice has better wall, moat, and gate. Obviously that's kind of important, but I don't think it's as quick or as stealthy as the Invader Commander. And the thing about the Invader Commander is you get to use your own gems. So recently I replaced the level, whatever these are, like 7 or maybe 8 gems, with more powerful courtyard gems. These ones here are the star-shaped ones, level 10s. So this commander right now has 80% courtyard from the gems alone, which these gems do apply against NPC targets. So that 80% courtyard combat strength against NPC targets is actually quite good. If you go into, let's say, the Prince, you'll see that it has 50% courtyard strength against an NPC target, and this is an NPC commander. There are only a few commanders in the game, like for example the Shadow King, that have higher courtyard combat strength against NPC targets. So anyways, my point is that kind of makes the Invader viable for NPC hits, I think, and also it means that maybe it's not clearly better to have the Apprentice. I don't know. Now that they have added the, base, actually I think it's a wall protection build item to the Shapeshifter Charm Shop, maybe you should consider buying that instead. I don't know. I think you should definitely buy that instead of having multiple Apprentice Commanders, unless you really think that you could get a whole bunch, in which case, once again, it would be better to have that for presets. Anyways, that was long and rambly. You're welcome. You can tell that I'm live streaming. Let's see. Let's go ahead and respy the Kahn camp. I'll also check to see if I have a attack report from the Kahn camp. Yeah, that's fine. 37, whatever. They're fairly well balanced. So I don't think that's indicative of poor attack setup. A lot of the times, if you have a lot of casualties on the wall, then you want to change your setup. But if it's balanced like that, you're fine. All right. Should I open this on stream? I don't think it will be vulgar or anything. I just don't know if it will contain private information. Stefan, you can let me know. Oops, used 2 one-hour skips on that. Oh well. Best troop, you mean in the game? It's probably the Renegade Cave Smasher, at least for attackers. And you used to be able to purchase them through the Underworld event, but that hasn't been a thing in a while, and Good Game Studios did confirm that they've taken that out. And in fact, I think they even said it wasn't a priority to bring that back, which kind of sucks, because I think many of us liked those classic-style events, like the, not Storm Islands, but, what was it? Blade Coast, that's right. Then the Thorn King and the Underworld. Those 3 events were essentially copies of one another. Yes, best commander in the game is going to be the Master Summoner, probably with an ivory pawn for a look piece. You could put that gem onto your look, and you wouldn't want to lose that gem because it's so good. Let me see if I can find it. It would be in the quest book. because I don't have it yet. But you would just want to make sure that you would pay the rubies to remove that gem from your look piece. Is this the pawn? Yes, it is. So this is 20% unit limit on the flanks, 10% courtyard, and another 10% courtyard. So 20/20 there. That's an awesome gem. Okay, let's open this up. Woo made the live stream. Indeed you did. Let's look into, oops, wrong castle. Let's look into moving some coal over to my main castle, and let's get that hall upgrade going. And let's continue attacking some NPCs. I guess running trains against the nomads isn't really a priority anymore. And we're almost to 1.5 million coins, which means I can rearrange my troops and send out some PvP attacks. Over an hour on this live stream. This is my longest live stream. I don't do them that often, and normally when I do make a live stream I come a little bit more prepared, but I thought today would just be a nice relaxing video for you. Nice relaxing, maybe 1 hour live stream to sit back and watch. And maybe it is, I don't know. But it's felt hectic. For those of you who might not have been here when the stream began, I did just want to mention my Discord server again. You can find the link to that in the video description. Come talk about the game and my channel with a fairly welcoming community, I would say. We've got a few bad apples, but, you know, that's life. Not going to say who. And also, I did just want to mention my plan for making more videos on the channel. I currently have 2 Okay, reconnection successful. I should be back. Let me know in the live stream chat. I'm just going to pause to make sure that I'm still live. Awesome. Looks like I'm back. It's happened before. I know the drill. So when people attack the maximum level cultists' towers, do you send all ranged, or do you send 2 waves of melee? Because if you attack down the flanks like this, you will be facing melee troops in the courtyard. Excuse me, also ranged, I believe. Hold on. Let me check. Yeah, there we go. So I'm thinking it might make sense to send melee attackers. I'm also thinking it probably doesn't even matter. Alright, let's take a look at the possibility of upgrading my Hall of Legends. I need 15,000 more units of coal. Let's see if I have that at my castle first, or if it's being delivered. In 10 minutes I get 8,000. But that's not going to be quite enough. Alright, so from food 1, I can move over 15,000. I'll have to make multiple trips, which kind of sucks. But oh well. We'll get that going. Really been working on the Hall of Legends quite a bit recently. Don't know why I can't seem to get it to 550 yet, but I do have at least a fair deal of attack bonuses now. It's not as bad as it once was. I've got all the way through to the 2nd master skill. So that's good. Back in the war against the Kingdom of Nef, many of their players had the extra destruction perk through the Hall of Legends that made them very difficult to handle during war. So if Tough ever gets involved in another long war, I will be sure to invest in that perk. maybe instead of the glory bonus, which of course is just really for the foreign invaders and blood crows. Question in the chat is, will the stream disappear when I'm done streaming, or will it be uploaded to the channel as just a regular type video? Anyone watching in the future would know the answer to that. I'm guessing I will just leave it up as a regular video. Don't see why not. Speaking of weekly loot, which is a point of discussion in the chat right now, I've got 42 million, almost in the top 50 players, which is, I don't know, it's fine for anyone who's actively participating in the Nomad invasion. Be interested to check to see if Tough, my alliance, is part of the top 20 alliances for the Nomads. We've been doing kind of poor in the events recently. I think a lot of people might be on vacation. But the top 20 for Nomads gets you a level 8 base food production build item, so I definitely don't want to miss that. That would kind of disappoint me if I'm putting all this effort into running trains and whatnot, only to not get my rewards. When will you PvP? Soon. I just crossed the 1.5 million coins mark, so I should have enough now to move over my troops. The sooner I PvP, the sooner I can end the stream. And we're over an hour now. We'll probably be close to 2 hours unless I'm interrupted for whatever reason. So yeah, let's probably get that show on the road soon. Alright, let's check the rankings for the Unforgiven. We were like 38th originally, so hopefully we're doing better than that at least. We're not top 20, we're 27th. That sucks. Come on, Tough. As I said, you've got this base food production build item that you really don't want to pass up on if you are an active player in the game right now. Okay, let's look into the possibility of conducting some PvP attacks. Now, nowadays in the game, you all know that there's a massive advantage for defense. So, I'm not really expecting to perhaps win. Let me minimize chat here. Perhaps win these. If I got positive, kills to casualties ratios, then I would be happy. But not even necessarily expecting that, to be honest. I just need to burn off some troops. Alright, so let's first... I have my attackers, my PvP attackers, stored in my first outpost. Let me move them over to my third outpost. As I said, I expect to be conducting attacks in the outer kingdoms, but first I would need to move these guys over to where my tools are, and then over to the kingdoms with those tools. Alright, so let's do that. And while they're moving over, I will launch another attack on a Nomad camp. Why not? How exciting. Did I wreck this preset? No, I didn't. Cool. This will be my first time putting the Apprentice Commander to use. That'll be fun. Provided I can, of course, find a target, but hopefully won't have much problem in that department. Have I gotten the level 14 build item? Do you mean for the base food production, or whatever it is, through the Shapeshifter event? If so, I have not. I just purchased one copy of the Apprentice Commander. I've been kind of lazy with the Shapeshifters event, so I'm behind in terms of those rewards. Or is that the thing that you can get through the Nomads? Either way, no, I don't. Let's see. Let's find it. Whatever. Either way, no. If you want to be attacked, drop your name in the chat, I guess, but make sure that you are a US1 player. Shapeshifters is a horrible event, I agree, but it's not a waste of time because the rewards that you can get through that event are so good. So I wish that you couldn't get such good rewards because then you wouldn't have to participate, but oh well. Okay. 293 whole units of ore. Let's take care of that then. About to have a delivery, of coal. About to have a delivery, but I want to make sure there's enough room in the storehouse for that. So I will first send over some of my own coal. Just want to shout that my alliance is 38th with only 22 members. It's pretty good. Congratulations. By the way, I'm interacting to people in the chat, so if anything I say seems weird or out of context, that would be why. Okay, about to have my own carts arrive, so we'll take care of that Hall of Legends upgrade. Hit CB? No, not going to do that. Not only is, I think, Dream Team pacted with Tough at the moment, but that's a very powerful player. I'm sure he'd be able to crush me. And as much as I'm not necessarily expecting to win this PvP battle, I'd like not to be totally crushed. Yes, coal production. I love coal production. My advice to any new players is build as many coal furnaces, or whatever they're called, as you can. That's what my castle layout video is going to be about. Charcoal burners, that's right. Don't forget about the glass furnaces and the oil presses, or whatever they're called. Those are very important. They will help you produce food. Hit Ghost Rider? No. Ooh, Iron Lord, that's a possibility. Let's see. Let's size him up. He's in Fluffy Unicorns, which is a sub of the Misk. Not liking that. Obviously, this used to be the most powerful alliance, but things have changed. Let's see. But he's online. He's probably watching this stream still, unless he's gone to do something else. So he would be able to know my exact attack setup. So I'm thinking that's maybe not the best plan. Okay, so I've moved over my attackers. Let's actually begin by picking a PvP target after I fast forward through this cooldown. We'll move on to the PvP segment of today's live stream. Wish I could get this box to go away, this URL box, but oh well. It's not there when I record, but for some reason when I stream it is. Okay. Alright, let's go to the rankings. We could do this by might points, or we could do this by honor points. As I said earlier in the stream, I'd like to get a few more honor points so I can do better during the events. So let's do it by honor. And just to be clear, I don't have any targets in mind already. I'm just going to pick somebody relatively randomly from the honor rankings, probably a little bit above me in terms of honor. I'll just select somebody from an alliance that I think would be okay for me to attack. Let's see. Minji. Not sure how to pronounce that. Masonic Force. I know that they are nearby, as you can see, and I know that I would be able to attack them. Let's see. The leader of the alliance. Powerful enough for it to be, I think, a fair attack. Alright, let's see. Am I closest to this target in green or another kingdom? Okay. Closest in fire. But do I really want to spend, what, 400,000 coins just to move over my attackers if this target is not that much closer than he or she is in green? Probably not. Let's see. But, once again, you know, as I said, this alliance is kind of all up in my area. So if I do attack in green, I think I'm fairly certain to encounter a lot of support, which maybe I don't want. Or maybe I do. I don't know. I'm indecisive. Alright, let's make a decision and attack and fire. I think this target will work, though. Alright. So most of my attack should have about, I think, 2,800 soldiers. First, let me determine if I have attack tools in fire. Let's see whether or not I have to send those over or not. I do. I have plenty of them. So let's send over some troops then. Attack units. We'll send over, of course, the veteran horrors. And maybe, let's see. This is going to be overkill, just by a little bit, but that's fine. Yeah, that should work. And as I said, I've got tools already, so I don't need any of those. Wasn't as costly as I suppose it could have been, which is good. I'll use some time skips to fast forward through this, just for the purposes of the live stream. Now, should I spy or should I not? First, let's take a look at the castle, make sure that everything's in correct order for me to send an attack. Take a peek at Watchtower. I don't see one. Oh, it's in the back here. Level 8, that's fine. I mean, even if I'm detected, that's okay with me. A lot of extra guardhouses and forest lodges and stoneworks. Obviously, you don't need those. Dwellings, you don't need those. So I'm guessing those things are going to bring down the food production, so maybe there won't be as many troops in this castle, which could be a good thing for me. So let's go ahead and attack without even spying. The only information I would get from a spy report is whether or not there are troops there. I'd also get the setup, of course, but you should never base your attack off of the enemy setup, in my opinion. Let's do 100 of each. And I kind of like the idea of having a mystery target today. And as I said, I'm going to use the Apprentice Commander for this. Here are the stats. It is almost fully upgraded. As I've mentioned a few times in this video, the Technicus was willing to give me all of the upgrades except the very last one. So I've got the chess piece to plus 19. But whatever, shouldn't be a huge deal. I always attack with ranged troops down the outside and melee troops down the middle. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, this was a tactic that was used against the Unforgiven by Kahn during the most recent war. And it's not to send, let's see, shield walls at all, in which case the defender feels pretty tempted to go with arrow slits. But of course, against melee attackers, that won't work. So it's a pretty strong attack setup. So it's just this, with the strongest melee attackers down the center on all waves. Again, the game is lagging, which is why I'm going rather slow. Sorry about that. Although I suppose it's your fault, really. Some of you in the audience who sent me one resource. It's your fault. You have only yourselves to blame. Okay. Getting there. Could have potentially used a preset, but oh well. Saving time is for smart people. Okay, I think we're all set during the center, or for the center now. Yep, looks good. So let's do 2 waves of mantlets, let's say, and because I'm not spying, I don't know which 2 waves would be best. Let's see. But I would say maybe waves 1 and 4. Let's do that. And then the other waves can just be the wall tools and moat tools. Of course, normally you don't want to send shield walls with ranged attackers, but that's all we've got. And if we didn't send shield walls on the flank at all with full ranged attackers, the defense would be obvious. You would go, or the defender would go, slits and ranged defenders. So we don't want that. Getting there. Hopefully not going to run out of moat tools. That would kind of suck. I think 14 is the right amount. That shouldn't be able to be overcome. I think I also had some of these, the bauble crossings, the holiday version. So we're fine. Let's do 12. Because then that would give us 30 mantlets on the first wave, and then 28 for a total of 58, which is respectable. And I will just do one full check to make sure that I'm not missing anything. That would cause my attack to be crushed, because it is kind of confusing when you set it up like I did in a mix and match order. Okay, first wave. Down the center, we've got our most powerful melee attackers with wall, gate, and moat tools. Then we've also got some mantlets on the outside with ranged. This looks good. This looks good as well. This looks good. And these two should be the same. They both look good as well. Alright, let's send this attack off. About 22 minutes. Should be good enough to avoid the worst support. And there we are, it's been launched. So let's take a look at the travel overview. 2,700 troops, not bad. Could definitely get up past 3,000 with a better commander and all that. If I had the Blood Crow commander, obviously I would use that. But as I mentioned in a previous video, I didn't quite get that before they took that commander out of the game, which sucks. But Apprentice is a good runner-up, I suppose. Okay, so that attack has been launched. The question is, do I want to do another? Probably not, because I do want to conserve my troops for the foreigners and the Blood Crows when they do come back. Hopefully I can get a few larger targets, in which case I would use even my ruby troops to maximize my attack potential. Okay, so as you guys saw, I've got an attack that's launched now. It's about 20 minutes out. I'm going to take maybe a 2-minute break. I'll be right back. Again, I'm going to refresh the game and take care of a few other technical issues. And then I'll be back to continue the fight against the Nomad Camps and also against my PvP targets. So thanks for sticking with me. Be back in about 2 minutes. Okay, we're back. Hopefully everything is still working. I have refreshed the game. I've been sabotaged here in my main castle, so if you're wondering why I have the "It's Burning" icon, that would be why. Let me know if everything's still working in the chat, please. That would be helpful. And until my PvP battle report lands, I suppose that I will just continue attacking nomads and doing just about the rest of what we've been doing for the stream. And more sabotage. What fun. Still a whole lot of resources. Well, actually not. Just one resource per delivery, I'm sure, but a whole lot of incoming resource deliveries to slow my game down. Awesome. Chat says that everything is in working order. Good to know. Thank you very much. What am I using to play Good Game Empire? Google Chrome. Now that the developers have finally fixed all of the lag issues, I'm back to using Google Chrome. The best browser, of course. Let's see. Okay, let's go back to attacking some Nomad Camps. I think my attack presets should still be intact because I didn't use any of them for setting up that PvP attack. So let's find out. Could also look at the Kahn again. I don't think my cooldowns were all that high when I finished attacking it about half an hour ago. So we can go back to doing that. And it's possible that the Unforgiven will have leveled the Kahn camp up anyways. So either way, got a lot to do. Why are there so many carts being sent to me? Because I asked for resources, specifically coal, at the beginning of the stream to upgrade my Hall of Legends. And a few folks sent me just one resource, which is fine, just to be funny. And then I mentioned that, and I mentioned how all of the travel horns on the world map tend to slow down the game, and that caused people to send a whole lot more, which is quite foreseeable, actually. So that would be why. It's all in good fun. Yes, the standalone Flash player is quite reliable for playing Good Game Empire, but now that the developers have fixed the lag issues that we've been having, Google Chrome works just about as well, and that's good news for me because I record my videos in Google Chrome. When I record my videos, I like to zoom in a little bit so that the user interface is larger, because I know that some people have trouble seeing it, and in fact, I have trouble seeing it when it's so small. Furthermore, when I'm in the attack menu or whatever, and there are all of these tiny buttons, it helps to have them a bit larger. So anyways, I like to zoom in, and you couldn't really do that in the Flash player, which is what I talked about in my video on the subject. So it's good to have Google Chrome back. Is Plague Doctor worth it? Not at all. It's just like sabotaging, but it costs rubies. And I guess if your doctors are caught, then the target doesn't find out that it was you, which might be good, I guess, but doesn't really matter for anybody who can actually defend themselves. So no, Plague Doctors are not worth it at all. I'm guessing that was probably a joke question. Is Crow better or Apprentice? I believe the answer to that would be Crow. As I talked about earlier during this live stream, the Apprentice is a little bit better than the Invader, but not clearly so. So the Blood Crow is going to be better than Apprentice for sure. Also, folks, the Veteran, who is right now in the live stream chat, has a YouTube channel. He, I believe, has made 2 videos so far about Good Game Empire, so if you want to check him out, feel free to do that. I think they're pretty good videos. As I said, I don't really watch any other Good Game Empire YouTubers, but if you want to support the community and support the game, be sure to check all of our channels out. I'm not sure if you post links in the live stream chat if they will automatically be banned or not. I think they will be, but you can try. If not, you can join the Discord server that I've mentioned a few times, link in the description, and there's a link to the Veterans YouTube channel there. And of course, as a third option, you can always put a space in the URL or whatever. Find a way around YouTube's automatic link deleting system. My nomads always change their tool composition. Well, if your nomads are below their maximum level, then that would make sense. That's what they do. The Kahn target changes occasionally, but for the most part it should remain the same. The only other thing that I can think of is maybe you're using different commanders with different amounts of wall protection reduction, in which case you would indeed have to use different amounts of ladders. How far along am I in the Ivory set? Well, I showed that earlier in the stream. I think I'm only on the 7th quest. I've been pretty lazy. The Ivory commander was introduced right about at the time I went away to college, so all of these quests that were based on the events weren't really something that I could do very well. But again, I've still just been lazy. I could have it by now if I actually cared to put in the work. But anyways, I'm on quest 7 at the moment, quite a ways away from having that completed. Do I know how to fix the teleporting troops? Oh, you mean as your troops travel on the world map? It used to be smooth movement, but I think at about this time last year, Good Game Empire changed that, maybe just to reduce the lag and to reduce the demand on the server. So I don't think there is a way to fix that, unfortunately. It was a lot better for time lapses when the movement of the troops was smooth, but oh well. Let's see. I can't remember with this commander. Is it 5 rams or is it 5 ladders? Or is it neither? Let's spy and find out. Firefox is a fair browser as well. I think you cannot do full screen in Firefox and also have keyboard input, so I wouldn't be able to type in the number of tools that I need and whatnot, which for me, when I record videos in full screen, is a fairly important feature. So that's why I personally have never considered using Firefox. And it's been a few years anyway, so maybe that's changed since I last experienced it. I'm looking forward to when Good Game Studios changes the game over to HTML5. They've been talking about doing that for quite a while, and it will improve in terms. It will improve the game in terms of lag and also in terms of functionality. Maybe it'll be smoother movement. You should be able to play the game on your phone without resorting to puffin, etc. So, yeah, hopefully that will be not too long from now. Let's check up on my PvP attack. 7 minutes out. I have lost the ability to retreat the attack, which of course is expected. I think even if I had spied and even if I had seen a lot of defenders, I would still go through with the attack. How many points do I have? I'm guessing you mean in the Nomad Invasion. If you meant the seasonal event, it just popped up on the screen. I've got 913. In the Nomad Invasion, maybe 20,000? 28,000 at this point. I was going to try to see if I could get to 100,000 without buying any boosters. Maybe I still will, but I doubt it. Skips, of course, will be the bottleneck. I imagine I would run out of skips well before crossing the 100,000 mark, but we'll find out. I have some time off for the next few days, so this is a good opportunity for me to at least try to do the best in the events I can. Okay, let's check to make sure that I have food at all of my locations. It's been a while since I've purchased any Nomad piggy banks, so probably some resources went to waste there. But I'll buy some more, and that should give me enough to send out an attack with them, perhaps. Unless I already did that earlier in the stream, which I might have. Let's see. Tools. Food 3. They're in here somewhere. I've got 440, so almost. Maybe a few more rounds of purchasing those and I'll have enough. Why don't I join Nef? Well, just because I was recently in a war against Nef, and I don't really have anything against their individual players, but I do want to make sure that there's not a monopoly anywhere on the server. And the Kingdom of Nef, as I talked about in one of my previous videos, is very powerful, and somebody has to be around to keep them in check. So, ultimately, I think my place is with Tough. And Tough's a good alliance. It's a good group of people, although I wish that we would do a little bit better during the events. Can maybe check to see if we are back in the top 20 for the Nomads, although I doubt it. Hello, Lay Lascar, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, I hope. Still not top 20, 26th. So a little bit better. I'm just going to delete some of these resources received reports from my inbox, so no further player messages go to waste. Hello, Angus. As for whether or not people can join Tough is not up to me. You can message our deputies or the leader. If you have fewer than probably 600,000 might points, I would just assume that the answer would be no. But you never know, so it doesn't hurt to ask. Alright, let's check to see how my PvP attack is doing. 3 minutes out. As I said, not necessarily expecting to win, just wanted to launch an attack during this live stream, and we'll see how we do. I'll change my flag symbol from, I think, food production to glory. I still only have the basic flag symbols, the ones that you can purchase for coins. The reason for that is twofold. First, I discovered in my food production video that the symbols didn't work like I originally thought they would. The food production symbol doesn't take into account public order and all that, so it doesn't give you quite the bonus that it advertises. And then the other reason, of course, is that I'm continually unlocking new achievement symbols, and I wouldn't want to spend 200,000 rubies on the sun symbol just to then unlock the better food production symbol that I might want to buy afterwards. But, you know, at this point, I've kind of leveled out in terms of how many achievement points I'll get. And it's only when the developers introduce new events that I can get more achievement points. Can I start doing Ruby giveaways? No. First of all, in terms of me like buying gift cards to give out to subscribers, I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense, because only one subscriber would win and then everyone else would be disappointed, which, if you walk away with 99% of people being disappointed, that's not a good good giveaway, excuse me. so I'm not too into that. In terms of asking Good Game Studios to put Ruby prizes up for my subscribers, no, I don't really have a contact with Good Game Studios anymore. At one point I did. I don't think I ever did like a Ruby giveaway like that, but they did do it with other YouTube channels, so I know it's possible. It used to be a long time ago that there were like voucher packages that you could get codes for, and then you could give those out to your subscribers, but that was before I was doing YouTube as like an actual thing. So, anyways, giveaways aren't totally off the table. If you join my Discord group, again, the link to that will be in the description, we might have like a trivia competition whereby you could win a gift card, and I think winning is a better plan than just outright luck. You know, if you introduce some skill element to the game, then all of a sudden it becomes more meaningful. And of course, just to keep talking about giveaways, a lot of channels do giveaways for the purpose of collecting more subscribers. So for example, I would say, oh, at 6,000 subs, I'll do a giveaway. And fine, that might help me get to 6,000 subs faster, but a lot of those subs would just be subbing for the giveaway. They wouldn't watch any of my videos, which kind of defeats the purpose of having subs. So I'd rather have fewer subs, but a better like view to sub ratio. So I have thought about the giveaway, as you can tell, but for now, that's off the table. Alright, so my PvP battle report is about to land. Everyone wish me good luck, although by the time you see this with the 20-second delay, it will have landed. Here again is the report. Here's the commander, and here we go. Alright, so we have completed one of the glory quests. We can also see that the attack is not coming back to my castle, which is indicative of me probably not winning. But let's see, and see if I got a good kill ratio. Yes, I'm satisfied with that. Let's see, so it looks like the defender tried to hold the center. Let me go ahead and spy this target to see if I can get an idea of what their attack, or rather defense setup was like. Congratulations to the defender for winning. As was seen earlier during this live stream, I just picked this kind of randomly by looking at the honor ranking, so it wasn't really a premeditated attack. Nothing personal. Okay, here's the spy report. It looks like the defender tried to go with melee troops and line bombs, which is probably the best setup that you could have for the center. The defender did make quite a dent in terms of my center troops, although, let's see, is that 4th wave or 5th wave? 5th wave. So she or he killed 4 full waves of attackers, which is pretty good. At some point, defending the center and killing 5 full waves of attackers is better than successfully defending the flank. In some cases, it depends upon how many troops exactly are being sent down the center and sent down the flanks, but you don't always have to win that section of the wall. But I'm pretty happy because I did get a reasonable kill ratio, 3,800 defenders killed, so that works for me. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all that I have for you today. I will stick around for maybe 2 or 3 more minutes to answer some final questions from the live stream chat. Other than that, I thank you for watching, and please keep your ears and eyes tuned on the channel for more videos in the very near future. If I do trivia, what time would it be at? It would be probably a Friday evening at some point in the future, before the end of the summer, before I go back to college. Do I have any tips for the seasonal event for a level 70 account? Just put your nose to the grindstone. Make sure that you are making the best of your season points boosters. Make sure that you aren't triggering your 18-hour booster too early, because if that goes to waste, then you're going to have to spend a whole lot more time and resources collecting seasonal points. And then finally, I don't know, just practice running trains. That's how I get most of my points. I have a video on that if you'd like to check that out. And of course, I just made a tutorial for the Nomad invasion. So that's how I get most of my points. Probably that's how most players get most of their points as well. And finally, I suppose if you save up a lot of your Kahn tablets, you can wait until you have a seasonal booster and then just spend all your Kahn tablets at once, and that will give you obviously a huge advantage in the event. Can you add me, Dave Police, on US1? Sure, if you send me a friend request, I can add you. Any advice for surviving college? No, not really. Depends upon, I guess, where you are in the process. If you're already in college and you know what to expect, then I think you'll have a better idea of how to tackle your own situation than I would. But if you're not in college yet, just know that depending upon, the choices you make, it can be easier than high school, for example. In high school, I spent 6 hours a day or more in the classroom, and then I would come home and have 2 hours of homework. I took 3 AP, Advanced Placement classes, and I worked myself very, very hard. And I'm still working hard in college, but now it's only about 2 hours of classes, about the same amount of homework. It's just more rigorous work, more inspiring, more interesting work. So college, I think, can be easier and better than high school in quite a number of ways. However, you do have to deal with the element of being stuck there, I guess, unless you go to a very local college. But anyways, there's plenty of people on YouTube who can give you far better college advice than I can. All right, so with that out of the way, it's been almost 2 hours. I'd like to thank you once again for watching the live stream, and maybe we'll do this again at some point. Thank you, and I will see you next time.